Hey everybody, welcome to Girls Game Shelf. Today we are celebrating Jack officially joining the channel. So we let her pick the game and she chose Pasaraya. So before we dive into how to play this, I wanted to ask you to comment below and let us know if there's a game that you would like to see covered on this channel. So go ahead and do that, and let's dive into how to play. Pasaraya is a deck building game where you are a supermarket manager, and your goal is to have the most successful supermarket around. You're going to do that by hiring employees and stocking inventory into your supermarket and earning money and doing all sorts of things. Let's take a look at your player mat really quick. Here we have space for your bank, your warehouse, and your draw pile. And on the draw pile, you see you have this little cheat sheet, which is super convenient for your first playthrough. The warehouse is basically your discard pile, and the bank is where all of the money that you acquire is going to go. To start off, each player is going to get some meal and some meal plus inventory in their draw pile and in their bank. You also get a junior salesman to start off in standby in your supermarket. Here we have the forecast cards. These are what you're aiming to get on your turn, because every time you get a forecast card, you get a good chunk of change there. The forecast deck is divided into year 1 and year 2 cards, with some of these current prices cards stuck in between. The current prices will allow you to sell your inventory at the current prices. Each player draws up 5 cards, and then you're ready to start playing Pasaraya. Every turn has 5 different phases in it. For phase 1, the starting player is going to reveal the next forecast card. Now, if there is text at the bottom of the forecast card, then that action would be taken right there during phase 1. After all that is settled, then phase 2 is the action phase. That's the meaty part of your turn, where you get to do a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to go through these actions that you can take, but just remember that you can take them in any order that you'd like. During phase 2, you can hire employees or you can purchase inventory. Once you do either of those, either hire the employee or purchase clothes or appliances or food, that goes directly into your warehouse, not into your hand. If you have food or employees in your hand, another action you could take is to either stock your supermarket or put an employee on standby. That means that you can use them on this turn. Each employee has different actions that they can take. Let's take another look at these employee cards. Each employee card has 2 different employees on it, so there's actually 2 different abilities, and you can choose which one you're going to use on your turn. This card is the security and the thief, which is basically the take that element of the game. Then we have the buyer and the worker, and this helps you move inventory a little cheaper and easier on your board. Then we have the supervisor and the accountant. The supervisor will allow you to discard this card into your warehouse in order to draw up 2 more cards into your hand. But the accountant will allow you to exchange 3 of your 1 meal cards for 1 3 meal cards to kind of beef up your hand a bit. Then finally we have the recruiter and the salesperson. The recruiter will allow you to hire help for just a little bit cheaper. And the salesperson is important if you want to fulfill a sales forecast. You cannot fulfill a sales forecast without a salesperson. And to get these forecast cards, you need to have all of these items in your inventory. So let's look at this one. I need 1 food, 1 clothes, and 1 appliance in order to be able to get that forecast card. So let's just say that I had all of those items. I would put those items back where they belong, and upon acquiring this card, it would go in my warehouse, and I would get all of the money from it straight into my bank. Notice how I'm not taking that 3 card, because I need the accountant in order to be able to draw a 3 card. You also need a salesperson if you're going to sell any of your inventory for current prices. This right here is the current prices card, and that would be another action you could take, which is to sell 1 item that is stocked in your supermarket for the current prices, whatever they may be. But remember, you can't take any of those actions unless that employee is on standby in your supermarket on your player board. Another action you could take is taking the money that you have in your bank, however money you want, and putting it in your warehouse or your discard pile. This is really useful in this game because when you use your money, it goes back to this bank over here. Not your bank, the one that is not yours, that you can't reach from. The final action that you could take on your turn is using a sales forecast card that has a special little action over here. Each sales forecast card has another ability that you can use it for after you already get the money from it. So here at the bottom, this one says, reveal one sales forecast card from the bottom of the deck. So there's actions like that that you can take. Or this one, this is a sneaky one. You can use this card on another sales forecast card. So you would flip this over and line it up so that instead of this one costing me 1 food, 1 clothing, 1 appliance, I actually don't need an appliance to be able to fulfill this forecast card now. However, that does make it worth less money. This has -8 on it, so this would only be worth 8. That wraps up phase 2. During phase 3, you take any cards that you have left in your hand and you put them in your warehouse or your discard pile. Then phase 4 is you draw up another 5 cards from your draw pile. During phase 5, you simply make sure that there are at least 3 sales forecast cards out. If there's not, then you would replenish up to 3. The game goes on with players stocking their shelves with inventory and hiring employees and going through the sales forecast cards through year 1 and year 2. And eventually you're going to come across the fiscal reporting card. And when you get to that card, it'll tell you if the game is going to end immediately or if it's going to go until the end of that round. To find out who won the game, you're going to basically calculate your net worth. And the player that has the highest score wins the game. And that's how you play Pasaraya.
So the rulebook. I didn't actually learn the game from the rules. I was taught it. So the rulebook wasn't as important to me. However, I have flipped through it and I have been able to find what I need. I know at least one time I was a little confused on something in general, and I was able to find it in the rules.
I feel like there were just a few details missed in the rulebook when we needed them that irked me a little bit, that I wanted to know. I wanted to know if I was playing it right, and I couldn't. So that was frustrating. The best way that I would want to learn this game or to teach other people this game is to give them kind of the overview and then do one round where you're learning as you go. In terms of the artwork, I think the presentation of the game is just joyful and lovely, except for the little people. The little people kind of creeped me out.
It reminds me of those Funko Pop toys, or those little toys that are, caricatures.
I mean, the other artwork, like the food that he draws and the carton. Oh my God, the carton is so cool.
It's a milk carton. Like, how cool is that? It's a supermarket and it's a milk carton. And the side of the box, it gives you the ingredients and it tells you all the pertinent facts you need. I love that part of the artwork. I like how colorful it is. I find that the graphic design, it's great in this game. Whether you want to stack them, to the right or to the left or going up or going down, your resources, it's all designed well that you can easily and quickly see what's on the card. I think it's efficient. I'm not a thematic gamer. I'm totally happy with dry games and no theme. But this one, the theme really shines through.
There's plenty of food games out there, but not like running like a supermarket, which is not like running a bakery or a restaurant. It seems like it would be a lot more boring.
Not only are you running a supermarket, you're hiring employees. You're not only just hiring employees, you're taking those employees and you're putting them on standby and then you're using them. There's goods. It's exciting. There's current prices, they're changing. And I love the theme and it's unique. I love unique themes. Yeah.
Moreover, I really like how the game uses the theme and changes that mechanic of deck building just so seamlessly. Like, instead of acquiring all of these cards and having this big deck, when you spend your money, you've spent your money. It's gone. It's freaking gone, just like life. I loved that about it because it felt like you couldn't be too precious with your cash. You had to spend money to get money, and it just really drove the theme home.
So this game always kind of starts out for me a little slow, just the first couple minutes. And then I get this exciting feeling of like, okay, I've got this deck going and I've got this deck building. I think the most exciting part about it is that gentle balance of building the right deck. Not only are you managing your deck, but you're managing the size of your deck.
Something that I really appreciated about the game was that you couldn't just exchange currency. Like if I wanted to have those 3 meal cards instead of the ones, I had to actually use my accountant in order to do that. And that was such a fun thing to figure out in the game. Like, I need to use my accountant to get this 3, but then I'm going to spend that 3 right away. And is that even worth it? Of course it is, because then you just have a hand that has a couple of sparse 1s and no 3s, and you can't buy anything that way. So it's a timing thing. It's learning how many accountants to put in your deck. Not too many, not too little. I also really like that, there's the list of actions that you could take, and you can take them in any order and repeatedly. So I could hire all my people and put out all my inventory and then use the people that I just hired to get more inventory, to draw more cards. It just felt like if you planned your turn perfectly, you could just do so many things. And it felt great. That felt great.
I really like rare games. I like games from other countries. I like games that are not produced on a mass level. As long as they're good and I enjoy playing them, I find it fun to collect games that other people don't have. Each time I play it, I always say, why don't I play this more? I definitely need to play it more. That's probably my biggest takeaway from playing the game today.
This is my first play of Pasaraya, so I'm really debating whether or not it goes on the shelf for me, because on the one hand, I had a really good time playing it. And it has a lot of things that make it special. Like it being a more rare game is actually really alluring to me as well. That so much blood, sweat, and tears have gone into this, that you have to message the designer that it's a labor of love, that that so much effort has been put behind this is just lovely, and that the theme works so beautifully with the game design. That's special about it. And the presentation, it has so many wonderful things going for it. And on the other hand, the only thing that really is a con is my own personal hangups, that I'm like, I'm running a cash box and I'm bad at that. I do want to put it on the shelf. I want to put it on tentatively because I want to get more plays in before it has this secure position. But yeah, it goes on the shelf.
It's going on the shelf and it's not coming off.
All right, that was our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in checking out Pasaraya and purchasing it, I'll put the info for the designer below. This is not a sponsored video, so do with that information what you will. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Girls Game Shelf.